This week's portion, Noah, contains for the most part the story of Noah and his family being saved by God from the flood, having to build the ark and bring the animals on. It's a famous story, of course, but the portion also contains the story of the Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babel, in which the community is trying to build the tallest tower possible to try to reach God, and God confounds the builders by causing all of them to start speaking different languages. And so, rather than going into the details of that story or the flood story, the idea that I wanted to share with you is this, that how do we confront the Torah when it contains stories that seemingly are not believable? That, in other words, they describe events that don't happen in real life. I ask this because when we think about the Torah, we think about Torah as the generic term for Jewish tradition, or Jewish education, or the 5 books of Moses, which tells the story of the Jewish people and our covenant relationship with God through the commandments that are given to us to follow. And so the first portion of the Torah, Genesis, Bereshit, and the second one, Noah, don't fit that mold of how we understand Torah. And in other words, they are stories that are not realistic because they describe things in a way that don't happen in our world today. A huge flood and one family being saved, a huge tower being built and then all of a sudden languages forming, the Garden of Eden and stories like that. All of these beg the question of how we understand the Torah. And so, as a conservative Jew and the conservative movement in general, we see the Torah as being a metaphor and also a partnership between human beings and God in developing a religious tradition and a sacred text that provides us with values and meaning and tradition in order to guide our lives. The Torah is not about reading it in a literal, fundamentalist way as if God gave it in that form to us, but rather as a way, an understanding of how people came to understand the creation of the world and our place in it. And so the portion Noah is just that example of how we can understand and explain things in the world today that are otherwise unexplainable. Shabbat Shalom.